Good morning. Even at our most generous, when we look at the Conservative leadership campaign as it's panning out, we cannot do anything but concede that it has become self-indulgent, introspective, and is dedicated to a form of infighting and nastiness that I think we should all be avoiding. This is in other words, a continuation of exactly the reason this Conservative leadership election is taking place, because of toxic politics. And what are we seeing on display? We are seeing toxic politics on display. So I felt this morning the BBC interview of Tom Tugendhat and Penny Mordaunt was actually very refreshing. They were both very keen to pull away from that toxic background. Penny Mordaunt has been pilloried, and when asked the two important questions about Turkey and her accession to the EU, she said, well, we weren't in a position to veto that because David Cameron had given his word that he would support Turkey's accession. So that veto, which came with Article 49, was emasculated by David Cameron's word. Now, I find that very interesting. So if that is so important, then I cannot see that somebody like Penny Mordaunt or anybody else could possibly support plans to modify the Northern Ireland Protocol, because we gave our word. Indeed, we signed a contract. We signed an international agreement. So if we are going to distance ourselves from toxic politics, we need to commit ourselves to keeping our word. That's terribly important. As for the gender identity thing, I think Penny Mordaunt has explained that quite well. And I also think that she manages to balance kindness and compassion with legal definitions and sensitivity. I think she's probably she's steering a very, very difficult line through that debate, and she's treading on eggshells. So far, I think she's actually doing quite well. As for Tom Tugendhat, I think I think we probably have to recognise he's not going to succeed, but he does come across as such a principled and positive candidate. Again, not everything he says is something that I could agree with. I certainly don't agree with the Rwanda proposal, but with any luck, that's going to be thrown out by the courts. I do agree that we need to send a signal to people smugglers that what they are doing is wrong. But we shouldn't then potentially be imposing penalties on people who have been people smuggled. Of course, we need a clean slate, and I think Tom Tugendhat is a really good example of that. To continually point out that he is a clean slate because he hasn't got experience is perhaps not the best way forward, but that is the fact. He has a vision which I think he can deliver. I liked the idea of a 10-year plan, and I also liked his passion and his ability to control the interview. In fact, out of the two, he was by far the most in control of the conversation. As for the question about whether or not he thought Boris was dishonest, I welcome the fact that he was clear about this. He said, we wouldn't be in this position if any of the candidates thought that Boris was dishonest. Was honest. Yeah, that's it. So all of the candidates recognise Boris's dishonesty, but only Tom Tugendhat is brave enough and bold enough to confirm that. That's perfectly reasonable. And I loved his line about disbelieving the alignment of stories about Partygate, which he said was fictional. Would he work for a prime minister who had broken the law? That was a very clever question. And Tom was evasive because, of course, the question was, would he work for Rishi Sunak, who, like Boris, received a Partygate fine, so broke the law. I also think we cannot constantly focus on the Brexit dividend. So that would be a matter both for Penny Mordaunt and for Tom Tugendhat. We cannot constantly draw on hope. We have to draw also on reality. We have to deal. We have to play the hand we've been given, not the hand we wish we had or the hand that might be predicted. We have to deal with the reality here and now.